Good to see y'all. All right, let's get this popping. Hold on, I gotta make sure my IG people right. Hold on. It's gonna be worth it. I'm telling you right now. If you haven't been hearing all the commotion, you need to. All right, there we go. Be good money on Instagram. Let's get it. This is important. I'm excited. I'm excited today because I really want to focus on what I'm calling the system stress test. And that's important for today's conversation because, I've been in business since 2015. My first 5 years, I struggled, was barely able to get any clients, really didn't understand how to run a business. I was basically just hustling, trying to figure it all out. And it wasn't until I really understood how systems work that's really when it allowed me to go full time. It allowed me to be able to help hundreds of people. It allowed me to be able to work with people who are just starting in their coaching businesses and people who got 6-7 figure businesses. But even more importantly than that, it really stopped from stressing myself out and stopped stressing other people out that I've been helping and working with. So that's why I've been going so hard. This is a system that I haven't really taught yet, and I'm gonna be training y'all on some things. So today, we talking about what if you disappeared for 7 days. Let's talk about it. What if you disappeared for 7 days? What would happen to your business? So I want to read a post that I wrote, and it really embodies what we're talking about. So I said, you built this business from scratch in pure determination, but now every day feels like a fire drill. A client asks a question and you're scrambling. A team member needs direction and you're giving half answers. You're tired of waking up wondering what got dropped, what got missed, what messed up this time. It's not that you're lazy. It's that you're winging too many pieces. And the weight of being the only one who knows how things work is silently crushing you. So that embodies really what we're talking about today. So I got some questions. And these questions are really going to, I want you to really think about these questions. And if any of these questions that I'm asking you today, you feel like, yo, I don't have a system for that. I don't really have a response for that. I don't know how I would go about doing that, or I really don't have anything in place with that. Then I'm going to strongly consider that you attend this masterclass that I'm having on January 13th. All right. So make sure that you do that, and then I'll post the link on there. So let's go through some questions. So the first one, would your offer and price be clear and consistent, or do they change depending on who you're talking to? So this is, do you have an offer, and is your offer consistent with the people that you're helping? Is it consistent every time? Or, depending on this person in this situation or depending on that circumstance, the offer is changing too much, right? You always have a different offer. You're always making up something on the spot. Remember, we're talking about systems. We want consistency. We don't want you burnt out. Are you changing it? I'm just asking questions. I'm just asking some questions, right? So that's key. Are you changing it? If you're changing it too much, you can see how it will be hard to deliver on services on a consistent basis. You can see how now basically damn near every person that you bringing through is you giving it's like a customized offer, which means you're basically doing customized service for everybody because you want to appeal to more people. You want more people to be interested. So now that's stressing you out more than it needs to because you don't have a consistent, clear step by step on the offer and the price you're giving people. I'm just asking some questions. Next question. Would new leads still come in because you have a traffic system? Or would leads stop if you weren't showing up? Would you still have leads that's able to come in because you have a specific traffic system, or would leads stop coming if you didn't show up? So in your business, it's going to be harder for you to build and grow if you don't have a way of how you're going to get leads. And I remember this from my beginning years where I would just basically be doing everything. I would be like, yo, I think I need to do events. I saw somebody doing events. So, yo, I'm going to do that. And then I'm like, yo, I need to, that was my own events. And I'm like, yo, I'm going to go do networking. And then I was like, yo, I'm going to go do, somebody said cold calling. So I'm looking up people in the yellow pages, finding people online. I even like bought lists before. If you know anybody who ever like bought lists, I went online and bought lists before and just started calling people. Then somebody said, yo, you could do emailing. And it's just so easy. You just send out emails. So then now I'm like, yo, let me just go send out all of these emails. And then I was just emailing people, so I was just trying all of these strategies. I had like 10 different techniques that I was trying, but I didn't have any particular thing. Yo, reach out to people individually, ads. And so I was trying so many different things that I never really been able to get a proven traffic strategy down. So we just asked some questions. Do you have a specific way that you do it? Or if you don't have a specific way that you do it, and if you don't show up, nothing gets done. Next question. Will leads get followed up with because you have a clear follow-up system, or would they get missed because you didn't chase them? Do you have a follow-up system? If you don't have a follow-up system, when you get leads, that means that leads are falling through the cracks. That means you got people who raise their hand and say, yo, I'm interested, regardless of what the strategy is. They say, I'm interested, but guess what? You didn't follow up with that person in days. You didn't follow up with that person in weeks. There's a statistic that says you have a 70 to 80% likelihood that they won't respond if you wait longer than like 30 minutes. Think about that. So you're losing a lot of people that at the time that they said that they're interested, you don't show up. You don't reach out to them. So this is why you have to have a specific system. You have to have a process for how you do it every single time. If it relies on you, then it's not going to be consistent because we're flawed as humans, right? You got to have a way that it happens every single time. Would interested leads stay engaged because you have a nurturing system? These are all systems that we talking about in your attract, convert, deliver process. Would leads turn into pain? Would interested leads stay engaged because you have a nurturing system, or would they lose interest because you didn't check in? Okay, so you out for a week. Let's stick with that. Well, are they still going to get nurtured? You know the importance of nurturing your leads. These are people who said that they're interested, but people lose interest. So you have to nurture, or they might have a small amount of interest, which means that they need to get more information. And you're finding that you're putting in all this effort in order to get people interested, in order to generate the leads, in order to book the appointment, in order to get the people to the event. You're putting in this work, but not enough people are going to the next step and becoming paying clients. Not enough people are doing that. And you're wondering why. Why has that happened? That is because there is a specific nurture system that has to be in play. Everybody's not going to be excited to join right now. But if you keep missing people, then it'll take longer than it needs to and convert those people into paying clients. By the way, this is not, you don't have to be at a specific point in your business for this. This is every point in your business. I've spoken to people that are just starting their business and they don't have good follow-up systems. It's people with big businesses, and because they might have had a follow-up system for one way that they got traffic, one way they got leads, but they don't have it in other ways that they got leads, right? Because every way that somebody comes through the door in your business, you have to have some type of nurture sequence for that. So this doesn't require, and this, by the way, this doesn't matter what niche you're in. This doesn't matter any of that. Again, we're asking questions. Let's go to the next one. And these are going to be straightforward. I just want to put this in. I just want to put this seed in your mind that these are areas of your business you need to have systems in. And if you don't have it, you can't expect to achieve your goals this year, because anytime something happens, it needs to happen predictably. It's not going to happen by winging it. And that's one of the biggest themes that I'm really going to be focused on, as I'm continuing to, a lot of this is continuing even for myself as I'm perfecting these things, because you don't ever get perfect at any of these. I don't care if it's the biggest business in the world. You're building out a company. You're never going to be perfect in all of this, but the goal is to continually get better and improve. But you got to realize that if there's no level of consistency in what you're doing, then you can't expect to get consistent results. And every year this becomes more true for me. Now, next, would leads turn into paying clients because you have a sales system, or would leads only happen when you're there? Would leads turn into paying clients because you have a sales system, or would sales only happen when you're there? So that means if sales only happen when you're there, that means that's the only time you're making money. If you don't have a way to convert leads, man, you're sick. You sick for a week. You on vacation for a week. You taking care of somebody in your family. You got this going on. You got to think. Let's say you can't work in your business for this week. Do you have a way to convert leads into paying clients, or do you have to be there? Do you have to be there? Or can you tell me, or can you say, yo, Terrell, I got a way to convert. I have offers that are being sent out through email. Okay, now I got a way to convert. I got a sales team. I got setters. You got to be able to tell me you have some type of way in order to convert people. You have a system to convert people into paying clients that does not require you. And here's the thing, right? So this is really like a twofold. When we talk about systems, right? It comes down to one, you having a process. So you have to have a process. That's number one. And then you have to have a process that can also work without you. This is why I go hard over delegation and automation before you even scale. And I have an ads agency. Listen, we can run ads all day, and you do need to have a base level of advertising. But before you even think about delegating and automating, what are you going to delegate and automate? Chaos. What are we talking about? What are we really talking about right now? So in order to really even save time and give it to something else, or basically is using leverage. In order to use leverage, you have to have a system in place for every area of the business. Other than that, then you're going to continue to be spending way more energy than you need to. So now we're breaking down different elements of the business. Got a couple more. Would new clients know what to do next because you have an onboarding system, or would they be confused without you explaining it? You just got a new client. Okay, when somebody comes in, are they going to know what to do? Most coaches I see, they have people that are coming into the ecosystem. They might get a client, but the client doesn't even know what to do. They're like, okay, well, what do I do next? What do I work on? What should I be focused on? What am I doing? They don't even know, like, when we meet, how we meet, what resources they got access to. They don't have any idea about any of that. And then you wonder why retention is low. My longest running client to this day has been, he came in 2018. So at the time I'm doing this right now, it's been this is 2026, 8 years. Longest running client has been 8 years. And I've learned this because I'm like, I have systems on how to actually continue to provide value in a relationship over the long term. Longest running client has been 8 years. But I'm asking you questions. Does it need that be with you? Do you have a system for that? Next, would clients stay on track because you have a support system, or would progress slow down when you step back? So somebody comes in, they start working with you. Do you have some type of system to keep them on track? Yes or no? Or if you're not there, they don't have no way to make progress. Because I'm gonna tell you right now, like, people, they're coming in and they want to make progress. They want to achieve their goals. But if somebody's confusion is the number one reason somebody won't stay with you. It's like, I'm confused, I'm overwhelmed, I don't know what to do. And then at some point, they start looking at your program like it's a bill because they're not making any progress on it. You don't ever want to be looked at like that, because then now they don't feel like they're getting the value. And then who wins? Nobody wins. They lose, because now they felt like they lost money. They felt like they lost time. And then, you're not fulfilling your mission in doing this, because you want to be able to help more people. You also want to be able to generate more revenue for yourself. You want people coming through your program and saying good things about it. And all it took was you having a system to get somebody results. Think about how powerful that is. Next question. 2 more. What clients set, last question. Would testimonials come in regularly because you have a system, or would you only get them if you remember to ask? Do you have a system to get testimonials? Everybody asks me, like, what's the best, the strongest form of marketing? Is by far get people results and get testimonials. If you can get people results and testimonies, that is exactly the type of person that you want to help, and you get the exact type of testimonials that they would respect, then it would be much easier to get clients. But because there's no system in order to get people testimonials, those testimonials, then it makes it hard for people to trust. Because a lot of times you can even get results and somebody look at you be like, yeah, but you can do that. You got the gift of the gab. You can do that. You was born with this circumstance, so you went through that. Well, yes, everybody feels like what they're going through is different than the next person. And so you have to be able to show other people. Now, if you've been in the game and you watching this right now, you understand the importance of testimonials. But my point is not really if you understand the importance. My point is, do you have a system that consistently generates testimonials on a consistent basis? Or are you getting them randomly? You should be able to map out. You should be able to walk me through specifically, what is your systems? Every time somebody hits this milestone or hits this point in their business or in their progression, this is when we ask, right? So if you don't have that, these are things that need to be set in place. So all we did today was ask questions. And the 2 big things I want you to take away from today is, you might have a system for one area of your business, but not have it in other areas. You might have a system for, okay, this is how I generate leads, but you don't have for what it looks like when you get a new client. You might have, okay, I know what this looks like when I get a new client, and this is the process I'm stepping them through, but you don't have a system for nurturing. You get what I'm saying? You might say, yeah, I have a system for sales when I say on a call, but you don't have a system for onboarding. You see what I'm saying? So the whole purpose around this is making sure that you have a system for every single area of the business. And there's major areas. Obviously, you know, there's a lot of things you could do, but it's not about what you could do. It's about what to prioritize that's going to make the biggest impact on the business. All right. So if any of these questions you got yet, you're like, yo, you know, you're right. Y'all ain't really got a system for this or onboarding or testimonies or whatever. Here's what I'm doing. I'm doing a masterclass on this on Tuesday, January 13th at 3 p.m. Eastern. There's a link. Actually, let me I'm gonna put the link down right now. And then even after this video, I'm gonna make sure that the link is there. Boom. Right. So I just dropped the link. Okay. And Rob, I see you. What's going on, bro? Good to see you. So and I'm gonna make sure that I come back afterwards to drop the link on there. And then I'm gonna put the link in the school group too. Make sure if you're not already registered for this, make sure that you are registered for this. If it's any part of this, by the way, what I went through, right? Because we're gonna have some folks, you know, you may not necessarily be a coach, quote unquote, which is cool. The idea, because this works for all service-based businesses. So, you know, hopefully, you know, you got the, you know, you can see how, like, okay, I get the concept of what he's saying and how this applies to the type of business that I have. Because this is, like I said, this is not niche specific. This is really not even like industry specific, to be honest with you. This is like, if you have any kind of service, you need to be looking at what this is. So I work a lot with services, but even if you thought about it, if you had a physical product, okay, well, it would make sense that, oh yeah, here's the process of what it looks like when somebody orders something and we have to go ship it out. Okay, it goes here, we pick it up, we do, like, this is how we ship out the orders. It would make sense, right? But people only think about process, you know, it makes sense when you think about it from a physical standpoint. Like, you got to know how to actually get it out and mailed out and shipped out to the person you're mailing it to. But for some reason, in a service-based business, we don't tend to think that there's systems for every area of the business, every area of the business. We typically only have it for 1 or 2 or 3 different areas, but we don't realize that every step of the customer journey, there needs to be a specific process and system. And that's only one element of it. I haven't even addressed that now you have a system, but you still are the bottleneck, meaning everything still has to come through you, because you can have systems in every area of the business, but that don't mean you're executing on it consistently. Like, I know what to do. I know that I have this down. I know that I have a specific process. I can even plug somebody into this, but it's still falling on my shoulders. Because it's still falling on my shoulders, it's still not getting done consistently. So there's multiple elements of it. It's having a system for every area, but then there's also, I got to be able to relinquish some of that responsibility. And that's why we talk about delegation and automation. All right. So we're going to cover these topics. I'm going to cover this more in depth on the webinar tomorrow. But all I really wanted to do with you today was give you some things to really think about. Give you some areas of the business that you're like, you know what, Terrell, you make a lot of sense. I see how I have a area. You got to be able to map this out, like all the areas of the business that's important for you to get results in. And if you're a service-based business, from somebody who's going from a customer or, you know, a lead, or somebody walking in your door, or coming into your world, all the way up until they are a buying client or customer. And then now we want repeat. Oh, and by the way, we also want them to share it, and we want referrals. You see what I'm saying? Like, you gotta have processes for every step of the business, not just particular areas. All right. So we're gonna talk more about this. I went and dropped the link in the comments. If it's not there, give me like another minute. As soon as this is done, I'm gonna drop a link in the comments, and then make sure that you register if you haven't already registered. If you already registered, shout out to you. I'm gonna see you on the training tomorrow. It's gonna be a phenomenal situation. I'm gonna have my hosts on there. It's gonna be a good time, and then I'm gonna walk you through this entire system. All right, and by the way, this is a brand new system. I've never ever taught this, so you're literally gonna be the first to actually hear this, what I'm walking you through. I've never had this in any programs. If you ever see me for as long as I'm doing this, this is literally a brand new rollout of a whole new system I've never taught before. So, and I'm really excited. I'm really excited to teach it. All right. So if you haven't registered, go ahead and do that. Other than that, I'll see you on the call tomorrow.